Hey guys, thank you so much. I hope to try to keep this one tight. The fact that I wrote it out and that it's 4 pages might be a blank to being able to do that. So I'm going to read the open. Hopefully it's not too pretentious. And then I'm pretty much just going to try to ad-lib and do this as loose as I can because I think it will be better for you if I do. I'm a great believer in wisdom. I love wisdom. I love studying it. I love trying to get there. I think the core essence of any philosophy that is worth ever reading is nothing more than a study in basic philosophy. Respecting my elders was never difficult for me. I was actually the exact opposite. I assumed that because someone was older than me, they knew more than me and thus deserved my respect, usually in hope they would teach me some of what they had learned. Likewise, I've always been stunned by younger generations that think they are learning life's lessons for the first time in history. That think, oh, this generation, we have it the hardest of all time. Side note of that, I'm blown away by old people that, oh, this generation, this new one coming up, it's never been so hard. What a crock. Absolute lunacy crock. Sorry, I already got off track. They spur their knowledge. They think it's so hard. Older people, because they never had it hard as them, have nothing to share or teach or anything else. I think they're nuts. I would love to get lost on this bandwagon, but I've already offended over half my audience, so I'm going to try to rein it back in. But I'm going to pause for a moment and be very serious. And I consider and go down, and I would love to, the philosophy, the logic, the flaws of why we don't listen to elders, why elders often screw it up for themselves, why there's nothing there, the fact that staying. Instead, I'm going to go down 2 quick branches. The first one is going to be, I'm listening to music the other day, and I'm knocking out a bunch of it. I'm listening to some old videos. I'm watching some stuff. Somebody sent me an old James Taylor video. By the way, how cool is frickin' YouTube with the music and the videos we can get? I bemoan the loss of MTV as once upon a time actually playing videos, especially relevant ones, but who needs it? YouTube has become the new one and the impact. By the way, I wonder when YouTube is going to start doing their own award show. Just a thought. There you go. Somebody send it to them. I can't wait to see it on USA TV. But I'm watching, I'm listening, I'm thinking, why is it we have so many great musicians that are still extremely sought after and listened to this day? Their talent is beyond measure. What they produce, you cannot quantify. Young musicians are coming out every day with new stuff that is just pow, 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 pow. Example of the old side, Rolling Stones might be the top selling act for concert venue in the last 5 years. These guys are older than my parents. Older than my parents. I'm not young. We're talking 80-year-old people. Question, when was their last hit? What was the last? By the way, it was 1982, and it was a song you wouldn't recognize if you had to. When did they do all their relevant work? Somewhere between 1963 and 1972. All the songs you still know, you still love. Now here's a question, and I'm totally getting off track. I probably should have stuck to my notes, and I'm sorry I'm not, but I got to go into this. Aren't you supposed to get better every year? Aren't we supposed to learn more? Don't you hope that at the age of 50, you have more knowledge, wisdom, talent, and ability than you did at 18? Isn't one of the things you say today when you're sorrowful for your stupid mistakes in your 20s? I was young, I didn't know, I matured. Bless you. Haven't you gotten there? Aren't your talents more? Mine friggin' are. I get bored sometimes. There's things that used to be a constant study and chase that are just, bleh, who cares? I don't even take thought anymore. It's so easy. Give me a challenge, please. But I'm better. I'm better at sales. I'm better at pushing. And I've learned some ethics. I've taken some wounds, some scars have taught me that I won't do some things I would do younger to get ahead. And there may be some minor limitations to that. And maybe part of the Rolling Stones, and here's where y'all are going to start to jump ahead and get where I'm going. Maybe it's the fact that they're not using drugs in their 80s to get to where they want to be in creativity that they could handle in their teens and 20s. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But here's the deal. I'm better. Aren't you better? Shouldn't we be better? Shouldn't we be advancing and growing? So why is it that an incredible talent, and I don't like the Rolling Stones enough that I'm going to keep using them. I'm going to go with James Taylor. Pick the rock hero of your time. Go with the Beach Boys if you want. Why is it an incredible talent isn't producing relevant stuff late in life as a rule? Why is it that an incredible talent, true, if they're a true musical genius, and I mean true, not just had a pulse for the time and that, true genius. And by the way, let's run down that one real quick. If it's, well, they are a genius, but they were a genius in their time and it was so brilliant that it carried out. BS, man. If you can read the pulse at this stage and you've got that genius inherent in you, why aren't you able to read it in the next one as well? Politicians do it, so should you. Why aren't they producing better? If you're truly the most amazing, magical, musical, special specimen at 24 years old, and some of these guys, by the way, are freaking savants. Go back and watch a couple of those, what we have nowadays called unplugged concerts that somehow miraculously you have tape. I don't know how the heck those survive, but you have tapes and you can watch them and find them on YouTube and Hulu and other things. Go watch some of these guys talk about how they wrote the song and you will be blown away. Especially when you think about the fact, what were you thinking of at 22 years old when this person was doing that? They had it. Why aren't they taking that? Why haven't they built on it? Why isn't what they're producing at 50 years old so ridiculous that it's like creativity must fall from heaven and kill them for they have crossed the threshold into the other side? Seriously, why not? And I'm not insulting, I'm not beating down. It's not, hey, ye suck. Not at all. But why not? Why did this all happen in youth? I'm going to challenge you that I think it's two core things, and I think they're two things that matter. And when you stop and think, and you're going to want to call me and email me and things, and by the way, God bless you, please do, and say, well, you're not remembering Elton John, Billy Joe. God bless you. Yes. You know what the relevance is? They never forgot these two things. Number one, the challenge. It's got to be a mountain. Yes, we have all reached the point where we have climbed a mountain and it was our goal, it was our task, it was our passion, it was get there, and we look back and we've done it. And we look around the valley and go, oh, there's nothing more. We're there, we've achieved, we're bored. The truly amazing ones, the ones that are still creating way down the road, went there and went, oh, wait. There's another mountain. And yes, so they go, well, that can't be done. And they went, yeah, you're right, let's rest for a week. Okay, this is boring. And they went and climbed it. They never stopped the fight. They never stopped the challenge. Stop and think of the older people you know, the ones that are 70 years old that are old. And stop and think of the older people you know, the ones that are 75, 80, 90 years old that are still spry and young. And you know what you're going to find mentally? The ones that are old at that age quit. Somewhere between the age literally of 18 and usually 35, they quit learning new things. They quit challenging. They quit exercising the constant carving of new neural pathways. When you look at your friend's grandpa, or your friend's dad, not yours, because yours is brilliant, but your friend's dad, and you think, well, could he run for office? You'd be like, no. Now stop and look at the age of the people that are running for president of the United States. If this person's brain is so hard and this one's is so flexible, what's the difference? This one was constantly being challenged, constantly fighting up the next hill, constantly having to go to the next one and staying there and staying relevant and going and learning new things and meeting brilliant, interesting people, constantly challenging. Go and challenge your brain, stay young. At the same time, the main point is you've got to have the next mountain to attack and to fight and to flow through. The number 2 thing, and in all sincerity, from the core of my heart, I think this one's more important. I think the mountain, the challenge, the climbing is honestly a subcategory of this one. So the reality is, I think there's really only one thing. And by the way, I think there's a reason that music is the perfect category for me to choose versus other art forms, but they all fit. That one thing is passion. Youth, and I'll be honest, there's a little chemical to this, and all its hormones, and all its hungers, and all its desires, and all its need to prove is consumed with passion. That 20-some-odd-year-old young James Taylor explaining the ride in his song, Blowing Your Mind Away. By the way, I saw one, Monday Morning Memo shared one that was really, really cool that inspired me as well a couple weeks ago that was on, oh, I love the guy, Jimmy Buffett, talking about writing a song that it was so cool. But looking back at that young guy doing it, and realizing where it's coming from, realize what's taken. They didn't know what they didn't know, but they knew they were ate up with it. They loved it. They were consumed. It was, I had this tune. I woke up in the morning, this tune was just in my head. That's the creative side of the brain working while the logic side is turned off. And you know why it's worrying, why you woke up with it? Because you went to bed with it on your mind. You were ate up with this idea, which, by the way, doesn't have to be just negative stress. Positive stress can put you to bed as well. But love to go to that one. That's another day. Go to bed with it on your head. Your mind comes over with you. You wake up all the friggin' time. You wake up with that and you chase it all day. Why? Because this is the most important thing. Going to that meeting, making that person happy, trying to wear those clothes. How am I going to mow the lawn? Who cared? You're poor and you're loving it. And it doesn't matter because this is what matters. You're writing. You wake up, you live in a hovel, but you're producing. You know why? Because the writing is what mattered. You went to bed consumed. You wake up in the morning staring. You push it all day. And do you take a little bit of creativity juice to help you? Maybe so. And no, I'm not saying go become an alcoholic or a drug addict. I hope you get my real point. But at the end of it, and here's where I'm going to finally shut the heck up. Regain your passion. You want to create, you want to matter, you want to be relevant, you want to drive. It is passion. Passion pushes, passion is your calling, passion gets there. Find it. Have you lost it? You've lost it because you've achieved this one. What is your next? You were not given a spirit of fear. You were given and blessed by our great Lord with the spirit of passion and courage to continue to push forward. Have you lost it? You've lost it because you've achieved. How many people have you watched that were the greatest mothers, the greatest fathers in the world, that once their children were finally grown, atrophied dramatically because their children and raising them was their passion? Now, you've seen them also get the grandchildren, do those things. Find your next one. God bless you for doing that. God bless you for conquering that mountain. But you conquered it. Next! I love y'all. Thanks for watching.